And here we are to unblah ourselves again. Hello, Diana.
Hello, once again. We had so much fun last time we had to do this again. We actually had too much to talk about.
Exactly. And the most important topic always is woman, feminine energy.
Absolutely. Well,
Let's
it is
talk
to
about that.
us.
And if we go too far into, like a taboo topics, that's okay too. Because I understand that the whole history of human civilization that we know of had something about women, inspiration or jealousy or anger or trying to control. So being a woman is a very disruptive topic.
It's a big, disruptive, complex topic that certainly can't be covered in this little talk. But there are so many things to pick out and talk about,
Yeah.
and I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So when you think about last time we spoke, and I said, God, I want to talk with you about feminine energy. And you lit up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what comes to your mind when you just hear the feminine energy?
Well, you know what? First, let me say something about what I do because I don't believe that in case someone didn't see the other interview. My name's Diana Extein. My channel is Unblah Yourself on YouTube, and unblah is not really a word, but it's a word that I made up after hearing so many women say they felt blah, and I just thought, how can these women get unblawed? And that's the whole reason I started this channel is for women. And it's kind of funny because like when guys do reach out to me through DMs, I'm like, I'm not here for you. That's pretty much what I say. Like, I'm not here for men. Sorry. I am definitely here for women, and it's my jam, helping women figure out how to be their very best individual selves. We're not all trying to be the same woman because women, like we said, are very complex. Individuals are very complex. Men are very complex, but we're not talking about them. We're
I
not here for them
respect
right now.
them, but we are here to unblah women
We're
today.
talking about feminine energy today. And that doesn't mean that men can't have feminine energy, just like women can't have masculine energy, right?
Not only can, but they do. We do have both energies.
Exactly,
We need
exactly.
everyone.
Actually, I'd be very interested in hearing how you define feminine energy because I don't think I have like a strict definition, but I definitely can talk about it.
Well, for me is there has been so much sexualization and politicization of those concepts. So I like to believe, I like to reflect onto yin and yang.
Mm-hmm.
Yin and yang. Yin is feminine, yang is masculine. Yin is black with a white dot. Yang is white with a black dot, and they create harmony together. So, what does that mean? In a book, Anima Animus, the wife of Carl Jung, she wrote that book and she talks about how female body, fragile, soft, gentle body, has the white yang soul. This is why a woman can endure more. A childbirth, and when have you heard about a single mom of 4 children? Every day, single dad of 2. Wow.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. And I mean, everybody knows about the man flu, where, you might have a single mom going to work with the flu and you got to feed her kids. And then there's a man laying on the couch somewhere with the sniffles. It's not to put men down. It's just that women can endure more. And there's been studies that show that we have a higher pain tolerance.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
just a fact.
exactly. So basically, feminine body, yin body with the yang soul. We endure, we go through, but fragile body, you can't carry a log, 5 times across the football field, but a man in a military can do it.
Hmm.
So for a man or a yang is white, right? With a dark black soul, meaning externally I'm stronger. I have a certain qualities on the outside, but inside, women are emotional, but men are sensitive. This is why men don't want to talk about certain topics because they
Mhm.
know I'm going to fall apart and cry. But I'm not saying here men, all men or everything, just this
Right, right.
kind of like a huge,
Generalizations must
huge,
be made sometimes.
yes, this is extreme generalization. Just
Right.
address yin and yang circle. And when I was a kid, I would ask my mom what this means. And she didn't know yin and yang, but she said, it means that whenever something is good in life, white, there is something that bad can happen. And whenever there is something black, something good is inside, but together they make life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
She explained like that, the little Croatian mother explained it
Yes.
to me in 1980s or whatever. So it always stayed with me when I learned of it, yin and yang, man, woman, masculine, feminine.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
We can't be without each other. We function better together if it's healthy, right? But if
mm-hmm,
you're
mm-hmm.
overly one size larger than the other, or the circle too large or too whatever, you just feel there is no
The
harmony.
balance, the balance. And you know what? I even feel that within the yin, there's a balance for women, and that's the light feminine energy and the dark feminine energy. Which, I mean, if I had to explain it in a really basic way, the light feminine energy would be more the playful, light, happy side, and the dark feminine energy would be boundaries and your boss self. Taking care of what needs to be done.
I'm a bear.
And yeah, and so there's a balance even, within women of that feminine energy that's super important too.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's always about a balance, right?
Well, I like to call it harmony because balance is kind of like you have to be two times this, two times that, equal, equal.
That's
But
nice. I like that.
harmony is more like I don't have a harmonious marriage. I never take trash ever. He's and my marriage is harmonious because there is no balance. He takes the trash all the time, and I do dishes. Not all the time, but mostly.
Yeah, okay. I like that. I
So I
like
prefer
harmonious.
harmony because life, like if you think about balance between taking care of two children, if they are twins, there is no balance if one child is sicker.
Hmm, hmm,
Harmony is you have to take care of that child.
hmm.
You cannot use if you take equal care of them, one cannot walk, the other one can. It would be a mess. So I like to prefer harmony.
I love that idea. And I will start using that myself.
Thank you.
I'm learning things today.
Thank you. We learn from each other so well. That's why I like our energy together.
But I think that this is a super important topic because well, first of all, when we talk about women feeling blah, they've lost that harmony. They've slipped out of their feminine energy
Mhm.
because I mean we're women. That's where we reside best in our feminine energy, and and I do think that it's important to acknowledge that men and women are very different. We are not the same. We cannot do the same things. I know that that angers some people. They want to believe that we can do everything the same. I do not actually believe that. And I do feel that we all work best in our feminine and masculine energies. And I used to work at a coffee shop when I was younger. And it was kind of funny because if we had an all female shift, works like clockwork. Everybody's doing everything. Everything's being taken care of. All male shift. Works like clockwork. Everybody's doing their own one job, and they did it really well. And then we would mix them up in this chaotic environment where we weren't really agreeing to work with each other. It wasn't a relationship. We were just thrown together, right? Terrible. Everybody's running into everybody. Everybody's dropping things. Chaos.
Uh-huh.
So we're definitely different. That's the first time I really noticed the differences. And when women would just sink into their harmonious place and take care of everybody and everything that needed to be taken care of, it was nice because we were actually all taking care of each other. And that's really what female friendships should feel like.
Mm.
And that is a big part of the feminine energy. You can't have true, deep female friendships without really sinking into your feminine energy.
Wow, that's so beautiful and it's true. And it's really true. Wow.
Yeah, I have my best
Thank you.
friends now than I ever had in my life, but I was always fighting my feminine energy up until maybe 5, 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Why is that? Me too. I, I, as a child, if I was born in this age, I would
Mm-hmm.
probably be going to cut my breasts and doing whatever.
Mm, mm,
I was as a child, or when my breasts started growing, I would beat my breasts not to grow because girls are weak. Girls are stupid. I want to be boy. I want to be strong.
mm,
I always had very short hair, baggy clothes. I never wanted pink. Blah.
mm-hmm,
And thank God I did not mutilize my body, right? Or do anything
mm-hmm.
because I love being a woman. But just like you said, I really started loving being a woman in my late 30s towards 40s.
I think it's kind of well, that might be a cultural thing where you were taught that women were less than, like, mentally or physically, like it just
Of
wasn't
course. I grew up
wasn't
in
cool to you.
communism. Yeah, you
Yeah.
birth a girl, nobody's congratulates you. You birth a boy, everybody parties.
And I grew up here in kind of small town Pennsylvania, and really my only guidance was celebrity culture. You know, you look on TV. So I had this weird battle in myself where I would see these celebrities and I would think, oh, I really have to make my boobs grow. So I don't know how to do that. Maybe I'll just drink a lot of milk. Or I would talk to my best friend about it, like, how are we going to make our boobs grow? But it's funny because when I did, after puberty, when I did kind of grow into myself, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want men looking at me like they did. I didn't want all that attention. And I became hardened, and I lost my feminine softness. I also didn't have a good role model for feminine softness because my mother actually resided a lot in her masculine energy, and it's no fault of her own either. You know, these are all just, you know, products of when you were raised, where you were raised, how you were raised, you know, and a little bit of your genetics as
And a
well.
man in your world, if he's taking
Yeah.
care and protecting you, or he's, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't have that kind of role model either. So I was just looking at celebrities and I thought, okay, well, I have to have, like, this was the late 80s, early 90s. I have to have boobs and big hair and wear high heels. And you had these weird ideas of what it meant to be a woman, right?
But
And then
you
when
are
I actually
also very
became,
beautiful. You are very model-esque. You were a model, right?
I was a model. My dad actually got me into modeling when I was 15. I don't believe this is the healthiest way to exist as a young person.
Wow.
Where your worth, you get money for the way you look. And so your worth becomes about how you look.
Yeah.
And, you know, your looks leave you way sooner than you want them to. Like even around 25, things start to drop. You start to change. You change every 5 years, wouldn't you say? Like your looks change every 5 years, and it's not for better or for worse. They're just different.
Yeah.
And when your sole value is on, I must look like this, and it's changing, you start to lose your sense of identity. There's just so much about being a woman that's complex because our focus is on our worth is in how we look when we're young.
Yeah. So you were
Um,
a young model at 15, but you were struggling with looking like a woman and
yeah,
wow.
yeah, and then also, you know, I wanted to be tough because I came from poverty and I wanted to be tough and I wanted to do things myself because I knew no one was there to catch me. There was no trust fund, there was no nothing. My mom didn't even have a car. We drove around on a motor scooter because it's all we could afford. Like there was nothing feminine about my young life. But, you know, I came into my 20s, and that's when, you know, your looks, they fade a little bit and they turn into your more mature woman looks. And you don't know what to do with that because there aren't a lot of role models that say it's okay. You're turning into your 30-year-old self. It's different and you can love it too. But instead the media tells you, no, you have to keep looking like that girl. Keep looking like that girl. It's a losing game. So then you also have to like toughen up, and sometimes you're raising kids. You're, I don't know, raising a husband. You're trying to work. You're trying to get your career done. And then pretty soon you have lost everything because you didn't know how to move into your next self. You've lost your youth. So you decide to move into your sweats and baggy pants and sweatshirt and not do your hair because you just don't know what to do. And then you've just completely, you don't know who you are.
That's the journey to blah.
That was the journey to blah. But there's definitely a, what
Like,
were you going to
the
say?
saying, the path to hell is paved with good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is exactly what you describe. You have children, you have upbringing, you have motor scooter instead of a car or comfort, right? So these are all good intentions. But then
Yeah.
before you know, you are in a blah land. And
And so many of us land there because we didn't know the next step to take when we started changing out of our youthful beauty. And this is the best time, and this is why I started my whole channel. When you're changing from your youthful beauty to your more mature beauty and your mature womanhood, to start to concentrate on things other than trying to stay youthful is the most valuable thing you can do. You start developing your talents, you start developing your interests. And if you can switch your focus to that instead of trying to stay youthful, you'll be much happier and you'll be much more interesting. And people will enjoy you so much more because I can tell you that there's hardly anything less interesting than a woman that's only focused on staying looking young. She's not interesting. Oh, and that's mean. And I don't want to say that, but that's not very interesting.
we don't want to be politically correct. We want to be scientifically accurate. I don't like when I talk to my clients and they are maybe, they married at 27 and now they have two children and now they are 45 or 7 and they want to divorce a husband because, oh, I can have anybody I want. Where is that coming from? Neighbor, 30-year-old neighbor wants to screw you for a night. Yeah, it sounds attractive and it's all, but who really wants to take care of you and your children and build a life? We need to be a little bit scientifical about it, not just like, oh, everybody's beautiful. No, your marketplace value on a sexual world drops down with every age, every year, every decade, even more, every child. And it's totally not correct to say that, but it's the result. Like, do you have a top 1% man chasing you around? No. Well, that's the market is responding, right? So of course you can be in a wonderful relationship with somebody who totally adores you if it's not focusing on your looks only, if knows you as a person. That's why what you said, build your hobbies.
I would even go a step further and say, stop focusing on a partner to complete you. You have to complete yourself, and I really feel like that was a real wake up call for me. Not everybody believes in these things, but I actually really like to listen to tarot card readings, like general tarot card readings. I'm not like totally into astrology, but what I find is that there's a lot of good advice in there, whether it was meant for me or not, whether it was meant for someone else, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of like good advice in these tarot card readings that's like, you need to get going on your path, or you need to make a change here where it's not working. It's just general advice that I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that, right?
Slow
And
down
then
when making a rash decision.
there's good advice in there, whether you believe in that stuff or not. And one day, I was listening to a tarot card reader, and this was a little while ago before I started on all of this stuff. And I'm not gonna curse on here, but I'm gonna edit myself. But this tarot card reader kind of looked in the camera and said, Aquarius, you're waiting for someone to save you from your own shh. And I was like, ooh, I am. I'm waiting for someone to save me from this. I need to wake up and start taking action. And to me, that was the turning point. I realized that no one was coming to save me from this pile of garbage I was dealing with. and I needed to take action. If I wanted the business that I had to be what I want it to be, if I wanted to talk to other women like this, I was going to have to start talking to women. I had to take intentional action toward my goals because no one was going to come do it for me. And I can't remember how we got here on this topic, but I felt like it was really important to say.
It is important. We were talking about how good intentions we end up in blah world,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
nobody can save us from that blah world.
That's how I got to that story.
That's what I
It's
understand.
a long journey.
But isn't that life?
Yeah.
Especially this is how feminine energy does. A little here, a little there. Done. Masculine energy.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? There's something to be said about flow. Following flow is a very feminine energy kind of thing that I had to learn how to do. Like surfing life, rather than trying to control everything. Trying to say, what's going to happen if I do this? You can't control life like that. You're not going to be happy. Take it as it comes. Set your sights on the horizon and go for that thing. Don't worry about how, just surf your way there. And once I started doing that, I've been much more able to sit in my feminine energy and relax.
Thank you. Easy, tigress.
Yeah.
Tigress, right? Relaxing is almost so foreign to women today. When I talk to clients, many of them, we call it like get all the family together and play, do nothing and play. We call it forced family fun. Because they all
Yeah.
notice everybody's on their own device or doing something. There is no more that bond, intentional bond that feminine energy naturally creates. But when I have single clients, then we call it force feminine fun. And one of the first things is you have to force yourself to relax.
Yeah, it's true.
I must make, because the list is waiting and I want to check it all off and I need to blah, blah, blah. If you do
The
blah,
list
blah,
is
blah, you
never
will
done.
become blah. It's never
That
gonna
list is that list will never get done.
You know
And
how disappointed I was when I heard that first time? I felt like grief. Don't know, my list will. I lived for, I was grieving for about a week. Is it really, am I really putting too many things on? But I really want to achieve all of that. And yeah, grief is over and list is done.
but you can take bites out of the list. But as soon as you come to terms with the list is ever growing, the list will never get done. And if it did get done, what would you do anyhow? I mean, obviously, you're not going to go like
Then I
sit
can
on a
relax.
beach. No, you won't.
After,
But you
exactly.
won't.
I know I wouldn't, but the mind says, now I can relax. When is that now? Then I have to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom and then my hair is messy. Always something will happen.
You
Yeah.
will create a new list. The list is never done. And once you're okay with that, relaxing is something that I definitely don't do enough of. Like, I'm not practicing what I preach here. I am working so hard right now on my goals, but I just realized the other day that because we're told as women, you can do anything, you can have everything. I really don't know if you can have it all. I think something's got to give, always, at any point in time.
I think you
But I
can have
realized,
anything that you really focus for, but not everything. And until that anything is reasonable. Like you cannot, if you focus now, I want to look like I looked when I was 15.
yeah, it's not reasonable.
Ever can get there. But you can look your best.
Yes, yes.
You can have unblood life.
That actually is a big motto of mine, is looking your personal best at your current age. And that's important. All of that is important in that phrase. Your personal best. You look like you. You don't look like anyone else. No one can be you. It has to be your personal best and your personal choices. I'm not I'm not against fillers and plastic surgery. I just don't do them. If that's somebody's personal best, that's fine with me. What I'm trying to do is tell people like you are great the way you are. You just have to enhance what you have. And if that helps some people be have an easier life with themselves as they are, then I've done my job. But at your current age is also important too, because we can't go chasing youth. You're going to be a whole bunch of unhappy. That's not good English.
Unhappy and blah, but we want to be
Yeah.
unblah and happy.
Yes, yes. Happy's the most important, and it doesn't have to be beautiful either, but usually women do feel happier when they feel prettier.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be prettier to everyone, but as long as they're prettier to themselves, they're going to feel better. If they feel better, they're going to act better and nicer, and they're going to have a better life.
Yeah. And if you think about the past, there was a whole ceremony of adorning yourself in Egyptian or Indian culture, even Croatian culture. My grandma was telling me how they used to comb each other's hairs for hours and braid it in a certain way and decorate themselves with gold coins, like to show off their wealth and their status and this beautiful hair with golden threads inside for hours and hours for one village parade. Right? That's like, this is why I want you to talk about your jewelry line, because it's simple and meaningful to adorning yourself. It's not
Yeah,
crazy, flashy, cheap looking China stuff. It's very elegant.
right.
Can you tell us, how did you come up even with that
Oh,
idea? Jewelry
yeah,
line?
that was a weird thing that I fell into. I've always enjoyed making things with my hands. Always. I love tools. I love making things.
And you like piano?
And yeah, I mean, I like doing things. I like making things. But one day I saw some women weaving with this wire. I had taken my son to his music lessons, and there were some women sitting at a table, and they were weaving, crocheting with wire. And I thought, well, that looks interesting. I'd like to try that. And I went out and I bought some wire at a craft store. And I just started to simply weave it. I had some knitting knowledge because my mom was a knitter. I've never got into knitting, but I knew how to do it. And I just started to weave the wire. And then pretty soon I had made this mesh bracelet and I put some stones in the middle. I just liked the way it looked and I wore it. And pretty soon people said, hey, you should sell that. And I was like, okay, I'll try that. And I sold some at some craft fairs. And then I moved into making other things. And I moved away from the mesh bracelets. It was very time consuming. And I started to notice how important jewelry was for women's beauty. Like you said, for that parade, how important it was to that women. I honestly think it's that important to women in their daily life too. As an example, I'm going to take out my jewelry right now and show you something this is what I noticed.
You're gonna
Is
blah
that
yourself?
I'm gonna blah myself, yes. Okay, so I mean, here I am, I have makeup on. Makeup helps. My hair is roughly in place. That helps. But I kind of like, if you imagine that I'm wearing pajama bottoms, I suddenly look way less put together.
You could
I'm not wearing pajama bottoms, but if you imagine that I am, I look like I just rolled out of bed.
But even if you
all of a
tell me,
sudden.
oh, I'm wearing pajama bottoms, I would not be surprised. I would think you quickly just put a little bit of lipstick and did something with your eyes, and that's it.
But isn't it funny how, like, if you imagine that I'm wearing pajama bottoms, I suddenly look way less put together. I don't look like I'm put together. But as soon as I start putting on my jewelry, I actually could get away with almost wearing like no makeup because I look more polished, I look more finished and intentional. And I tell women to put their jewelry on first before they put their makeup on, because I'm going to need a mirror for this one. I tell them to put their jewelry on first because it makes such a big difference in how polished and finished they look. And you'll probably need less makeup if you put your jewelry on first, because now I could be wearing a ball gown on the bottom. I look finished and like my hair doesn't look, I
Yes.
mean, this is always what my hair looks like.
And if you
But
tell me you're wearing pajama bottoms, I would not believe.
right, because it doesn't look right. It looks like I'm done. I'm finished. And so I started making very simple jewelry pieces and high quality metals, because I think that if you're going to put something like through your body, like an earring, or something that's sitting on the skin of your chest all day, it has to be a good metal. So I make only things in like gold and silver. And I thought there aren't enough women who just own a couple of simple quality pieces. Everyone's just buying some junk at Target and it's sitting on their skin and it doesn't even look good. If I could just offer some affordable, high quality, standard pieces that anyone can wear, then I would feel like I'm serving women. I'm always looking for a way to like serve women, you know, and that was the first way that I thought this could really be helpful for people. And something that they can put in every day. These are actually not my earrings right now, but I like them. And I felt like they served my needs right now. But I do make this necklace and I do make this bracelet. And they're just kind of like my everyday things. And if I just toss those on and I have my eyebrows on, I feel so much better about myself. I do think that adorning yourself is important to feeling finished, presentable, like a piece of art. You know, it's your artistic expression.
Yes. There is a story from the Bible when King, I forgot which one, David, I think, he saw Queen, before she was queen, Bathsheba. He saw her bathing in this little pool or pond or somewhere, and she was taking care of herself, and somebody was with her, the girlfriend. There was a ceremonial feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he fell in love with her. He didn't see her scrubbing floors and stressing out and running from here to there and said, wow, she's hot. So he saw that she slowed down and addressed herself and undressed herself, right? And she took care of herself. And that was very magical and attractive. And
Yeah.
many of us women today, we appreciate men who do and achieve and accomplish. So we think we will be attractive if we do the same. But that's not very attractive. Adorning ourselves, slowing down, brings that energy. What was this sigh about?
Because I know that that is the truth. I know it was a sigh of truth. And you know, I was also thinking about one of my friends from high school who never wore much makeup. She always wore a very just like simple necklace. She was actually more of an athlete.
Yes.
And I just reconnected with her a few months ago. Same person. She just doesn't wear any makeup, very sporty looking, very natural. And she's got this confidence about her. She does take good care of herself, but it's not in the way that, you know, we usually talk about when the way women take care of themselves. I think she takes care of herself in a more mental way where she makes sure that she has boundaries, her needs met. She's very okay with who she is as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And her, she's never had an issue with finding men to be interested in her.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like there's something to that, like you were saying, whatever queen that was getting adorned. There's something to that queen energy, you know, like feeling like you are important and worthy enough to have that ritual, feeling worthy and important enough to just be yourself without makeup. They're the same thing. It's this confidence. And that's probably what's at the root of this feminine energy. When you can exist with feminine energy in the world, there's a confidence that you are worthy and you're offering something to the world, and that it's powerful, you know, and that power radiates. People feel that. Whether you are a queen getting adorned with gold or you are my friend who doesn't wear makeup, it's that queen energy.
Yeah, yeah. And it's I personally, I'm low on makeup. I don't even have mascara.
Mm,
Like I know I look way better with mascara, but my eyes don't like. It's gitchy and I don't like I
I
sometimes I
agree.
do it, but I think when I see some woman, like you were saying at the beginning, when everything is about the looks, you lose your soul. And when nothing is about the looks, you see your friend, she puts her little necklace, she does her sporty activities, she looks like she cares for her body, right?
Yes. Yeah,
She
she
has a
always
muscle
has.
definition. She
Hmm.
knows she can go from here to there without getting all winded out, right? This is also, I often say, hair and makeup and nails, this is not self-care, this is grooming.
Yes, I
Here
agree.
is what
I
your friend is
agree.
doing. I want
Yeah.
to feel better. Sometimes I have another friend, she said, the most radical thing you can do sometimes is take a nap.
That's true. That's something I hardly do.
Right? That's also
Yeah.
self-care. And of course, when you're
Yeah.
getting wedding or going somewhere, you will adorn yourself a lot, right?
Mhm.
And when you have to, whatever, take care of seven sick children, you're not gonna probably adorn yourself, but you're gonna take a moment to maybe drink a cup of tea or something to replenish yourself to help children.
Yeah. And you know what? Can we just talk about something you said before we even recorded this today, where you were talking about the kind of vacation that you like?
Yeah.
I feel like that's real self-care. When you travel rather than go on a vacation. And
Vacate from the life you
right, right. You don't want to like vacate and just seek comfort in like a luxury resort. You like to travel and get in there with the locals and experience their lifestyle. I believe that that is way more self-care than you will ever receive at a resort and behind your walls. You'll never really experience the lifestyle of where you traveled to. And it might not be as easy, and there might even be some moments that it's stressful and not fun, but that is real self-care because there's growth in that.
and it's memorable and it makes you know this was the best dangerous uh, muddy experience. Like my
Mhm.
self-care, I'm going for uh, by myself to a village that is all full of hobbit houses. The
You,
doors are round, one has
uh-huh.
red, one's yellow, whatever. Four sisters, about 2 years ago, year and a half, built these little hobbit houses. My husband thinks that's terrible. I was so excited. I cannot tell you how excited I am. You know, be like a Snow White with a deer and squirrels in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by green and rivers. Oh my God, dream.
That sounds amazing. And I actually think you have to interview these sisters and how they came to build this thing because this sounds incredible. This sounds like a bunch of women sitting around in their 50s going, "This is what I want to do. Do you guys want to do this?" And they're all like, "Yeah," but then they don't do it.
These four did it.
Amazing. Amazing. When are you going to do this?
August 4th through 7th.
Wow.
3rd through 7th. Yeah.
And then where is this? Where is this?
Bosnia. It's in Bosnia. I'll send you the link. Or I can put the link right here for everyone to see.
Now, not everybody would be brave enough to do that.
My dream vacation is actually vacation. Thank you. My dream experience, I don't want to use that word. It sounds so like you don't like your life.
Right. Like
I
you need to
like my
vacate.
life. No. My dream experience would be
Yes.
if there is a village, there has no electricity, and the houses still look like they used to look 200 years ago. And you
Me
have
too.
to go pick the eggs from the chicken, and you have to go and pick up your plums and cherries and make your fire.
Hmm. Yes.
I would love that. Enough internet just to post and share. But even that I can share later. Just take pictures,
Yeah.
right? But something that I really like, rain falls and now everything is muddy. Ugh. And I have to iron the sheets because it's hard cotton, you know,
Mm-hmm.
some
Mm-hmm.
bamboo, hard cotton, and I have to iron with the iron that you have to put coils inside. Oh my God. That's
Yeah, because there's something that resonates with you very deeply there, right? A real human experience of doing the work and seeing where things come from, natural food. There's just a deep human need there that's being met. And some people have gotten really far away from identifying those needs that now they think that they're being met by if I just sit on the couch with my fuzzy blanket and watch my best Netflix show, that's where I need to be. But it's
and
actually
calling pizza delivery.
and it's not going to help you grow. It is going to help you vacate. But it's not going to help you experience this life. And we are not here for very long. I know sometimes it feels like it is long, especially when you have a newborn. Holy moly.
But now newborn is
But
adult. Look at this.
yeah, I have an adult now. But and now life is not feeling very long at all. And I want to experience as much as I can. I want to experience this life. I want to experience the good and the bad, the highs and the lows, because there is no good story without those dynamics.
And if you
Nobody wants
think
to read
about,
that story.
we already lived half of our lives.
Yeah.
Half is over. And when we
Mhm.
were healthy and strong and vibrant. And now, according to the statistics, we're going to get hip replacement and blah, blah, blah.
Uh,
But no, let's live. We need,
I don't believe it has to go down. I think that's
of course,
something that
but
we
if
are
you think
sold.
about how life, most people complain, oh, you're lucky when you're young. Well, how
Yeah.
about we may look wrinkled with time? But I do want to be able, like your friend, to be able to climb big mountains and hills. I'm going to see Bosnian pyramids. There
Oh,
are five
wow.
pyramids in Bosnia. They were taller and bigger and more precise than pyramids in Cheops pyramid in Egypt. I've been there
That's
before
going to
and
be
I cannot
incredible.
stop going there. This will be my fourth time. It's so
There are pyramids all over the world. And I would think that if there was one woman watching this who said, I just don't know what I'm interested in, I don't really know what to do next. If you just started looking into like how many pyramids there are all over the world, it's fascinating. It'll send you down a rabbit hole of fascinating things to talk about. If you don't know what to be interested in, it's a cool one.
I'm mostly interested in
Hmm.
jungles and old style of people, how they used to live.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if I can live in a forest or somewhere. Of course, I'm a little scared of snakes and scorpions and stuff. So Costa
Hmm.
Rica was very challenging when I was there. Hawaii is vanilla, but that's something when you can feel trees are alive. They were not
Hmm.
planted to make the real estate property value go up.
Right, right.
It just
Uh-huh.
grew there because of the perfect harmony of water and sunshine and everything.
Yes, and nothing will remind you more of your mortality than sitting in a jungle realizing this earth wants to eat me. Because it eats everything. You sit there long enough, you see it eating the houses, you see it eating the stones on the ground, eating there's nature eating nature. And you're like, oh, well, I don't know why I'm worried about like how I'm going to be perceived in 100 years because actually I'm just going to be eaten and forgotten. And that allows you to sit more in the moment and enjoy what's left of your life. Like what are we fighting for? Like even now kids don't remember Madonna and she's still alive.
Wow. I know I met somebody maybe 20 years ago, young kid, who didn't know who was Elvis Presley. But if people don't know who is Madonna today, when she's still trying to catch the youth and still jumping
She's
around.
still alive and there are kids who confuse her with Cyndi Lauper. They're like, "Oh, did she sing that Girls Just Want to Have Fun song?" It's like if you can reach the heights of fame like Madonna and still be forgotten within your lifetime, what are we doing? Why aren't we just simply experiencing this life? Why are we not eating this life like a delicious fruit that it is.
Delicious fruit that it is. Yes. And that delicious fruit will have a bitter seed if you bite too much, and that's okay.
Yes.
Bite a little
Yes.
more. Wow.
Keep eating.
Keep eating. Because there is this woman, Gladys. She's 102 or 103-year-old doctor who wrote a book about life. Live it. Life should be used and squeezed, every bit of it. But we are saving it.
Yeah.
For what? What are we
Yeah.
saving? Because minutes go by. Like I have to tell you, as I'm approaching ending my 40s and approaching 50s, I'm like, oh my God, like every minute is precious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my grandma, when she was 90, when she turned 90, she says, you know, it takes a long time to count till 90, and it takes longer to live it. Do not waste my time. Like, I lived a lot. I still have a little. Don't waste my time. If you have a
Yeah.
question, get to your point. She lived till 93, but these years from 88 till the end, she was sharp as a button and like, okay, done. I'm done. I don't have time anymore for this. I have to take a nap. I have to make. She would cook in pots this big. My little meal. She said, it's always better to be a little hungry. How do you think you can live long if you overeat?
And you know what? What you're explaining right there is she was really accessing her dark feminine energy, her boundaries with her time. She's like, I know myself. I know what I need to serve my needs. Cut out all of the BS, you know?
And I don't have time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die in a year or 2 or 3 days. I don't have time for anybody's BS.
But she did have time for your genuine questions, and that's her light feminine energy, the welcoming,
I asked,
caring, nurturing side.
yeah, one time I asked her, because she lived through 2 wars and she was wounded in a war that for 13 years pus was coming out of her arm. She raised 2 children without being able to move the arm.
Wow.
Really
That's
hard life.
hard.
And her husband was really, really challenging. So I
That's a
asked,
good word.
yeah, honest. I asked her, Grandma, if you could live your life again and you can change one thing, what would you change? She did not even think. She instantly just said, I would worry less.
Hmm.
And I said, but wouldn't you change a war or a husband or change somebody else, marry another person? No. Nobody caused me as much stress as my own mind.
Isn't that the truth?
But you have to live, I guess, till 90 to wake up that you worried too much when
I
you were
hope
40.
not. I hope not. But you know, the beginning of the waking is definitely around 40 for most women. And I would say that if you're in that phase where you haven't awoken yet, you're actually lucky. You are lucky to be in that space. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you are about to bloom if you decide to.
Yeah. So why do you say it's lucky to still be sleeping?
Oh, it's kind of like when you want to, you ever take a nap because your day has been hard and you need to get away from it? That's kind of what it's like when you're like 38 or 42 and you don't know what to do next, you're blah. It's like a sleep that you are forcing yourself to be, and you don't want to make those decisions to move on to the next level. You don't know what those decisions are. And I do believe that when you decide to consciously start living and making those intentional choices for growth and realization about your insides, that's an awakening. You're waking up from that slumber that you put yourself in so that you could deal with life.
And then you have to brush your teeth and change your pajamas and do all of this to start.
Maybe put on some jewelry and a silk scarf and learn to be
Silk
your new
scarf.
self.
Let's talk about silk scarves. I noticed through your videos, it's almost like your signature thing.
It is.
The
I
little
didn't
scarf,
mean for
it
that to
Europeans
happen.
you a little bit.
I didn't mean for that to happen. I just kind of, I've always loved silky, beautiful fabrics. Like I love going in fabric stores and feeling the great fabrics. And I realized that silk and cotton and wool, these natural fabrics, they feel really good on your skin. They keep you the right temperature. I'm just in love with fabric. So then I started experimenting with the silk scarves that I would get at thrift stores and wearing those. And I love the way that silk scarves feel on my neck. It's a treat to have something soft hug you around your neck. And it's become a dream of mine to design and sell the silk scarves that I believe are the most beautiful. And I've now started doing that. That's part of my jewelry business. And I'm so happy every time I send off a silk scarf to a woman because I know that it's just going to enhance her beauty and make her feel nice and enveloped and like a flower around her neck. It's part of the process of unblawing yourself for some women, this adorning yourself, and also feeling like you care for yourself enough that you bought this item that you know is going to enhance your beauty right now. And it also hides an aging neck if you don't want to look at it.
That's so true. It really hides and gives the pop of color
Yeah.
instead of turkey neck.
As an example, I'll grab this one that's right here.
Please.
It just happens to be right here because actually with me, scarves are always everywhere because,
And you just showed us that you don't have pajama bottoms.
yeah, I'm wearing jeans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, just look, it's like a flower, you know, and look, now we match.
Yeah.
And
it's
I didn't even,
one item on the top of the black top.
I didn't even have to tie it. I didn't have to know anything fancy. I just tossed it around and look how much it just enhanced what I'm wearing. I feel really, really polished and unique, and I just feel good in this. And I just hope to do that for other women.
Wow. So all your scarves are this size?
No, this is kind of a large one, but some of them are smaller, and I just placed an order for some larger ones because there is nothing better than having a huge piece of silk just tossed around you underneath your wool coat or like on vacation over your dress when you want to cover up from the sun a little bit. There's really nothing better than feeling a silk scarf on your neck and shoulders
Wow, I love
or
it.
in your hair.
In your hair, yeah.
Yeah.
So how people do it tie around the purse?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another way when people say, yeah, my neck is short or I just don't look good in scarves. I'm like, have you tried wrapping it around your headband or underneath your hat or tied around your purse or on your wrist? I mean, there's so many ways you can enjoy a silk
As a
scarf.
belt?
Oh, absolutely. Just tie it right on your belt loop right there, just hanging down. It's so pretty.
It's so pretty, yeah. And it really unblurs everything.
It really does. I mean, you
You're like,
saw.
oh, I'm just a simple girl. Like, yeah, okay, unblur it with one item. Where can we get those cars?
Oh, my website is I will have to write it down because it's helixdesigns.com, which is Haelix. And I do have my 3 scarves up there. I recently started selling scarves just this past fall. And every time I send one out, it's just thrilling to me to bring this to women because I know so much about how silk scarves reflect light and enhance your skin tone and I didn't want to leave it up to the whims of everybody's thrift stores or where you're able to find silk scarves in stores, which is not very often. And people think that they have to cost $1 million and they don't. So just bringing my knowledge and experience of silk scarves and how they enhance a woman's beauty to the table, I'm just very excited about that.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for that. Because I have a lot of things around my neck. And I prefer always, I used to choose by color. And then I realized I don't wear if it's not silk. Polyester, I put it and it's itchy. It's like,
It doesn't feel good and it gets sweaty, and silk just doesn't do that.
yeah, silk makes you feel like it's loving you.
It's definitely feminine energy kind of fabric.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for that. So, somebody is listening now and says, I want to unblah myself in a feminine way. Step 1.
Step 1.
Get a
That's
scarf.
That's a tricky question because I always think it starts with your health and your fitness. Making yourself a priority because your health and your fitness is going to carry you into your older years with strength and agility and mobility. You cannot feel light and feminine when you feel stiff,
Of course.
or you've let your health problems go too long and now you've developed chronic disease. Now, I am not blaming anyone with chronic disease saying that they caused their own chronic disease, because sometimes things hit you out of nowhere. But if there are things you can control, like staying healthy and eating well, then you should control them, because that will take you to 90 in a healthful way. You watch these videos of these 90-year-old gymnasts and or dancers. Is there anyone happier to be alive at 90 than these people? Because they can do whatever they want. So I'd say it starts with prioritizing your health and your fitness, and then start wearing jewelry every day. And just pick one thing, what to do next. Wear a brighter shirt. Wear a skirt when you want to wear pants. There's so much. And that's why I have all those style videos on my channel, because there's so many things you can do.
It's so true. I choose pants because they are practical, they're easy. And then I have this whole bunch of skirts that I don't wear. And I made a pact with myself. If I will not wear this, I will give it away. No, I don't want to give it away. And I start wearing it. And every
Yeah.
time my husband is like, wow, wow. It's nothing wow about it, but it's so much of energy that shows.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the energy that you are taking care of yourself in a way that you want other people to notice. You want to engage with the world. You want to be part of this world, and you want to show. You want to show things about yourself to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Diana. We can find you on Unblah Yourself YouTube.
Yeah, Unblah Yourself on YouTube, Instagram, and unfortunately TikTok. I say unfortunately because that can be kind of a weird place, but I'm there. And helixdesigns.com if you want to check out my jewelry and my scarves.
Cool. Thank you so much. I love being with you. I love
I know. We have so much fun, and I'm looking forward to doing this again sometime. And I hope your Hobbit house trip is amazing.
And I'm back from my hobbit house. I don't know how I will look, maybe like a little hobbit.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I'm open.
Could be your new look.
New style, hobbit scarf.
Hobbit, what's that called? Hobbit aesthetic. Yes.
Cool. Thanks so much. Bye.
Oh, wonderful chatting with you.
Always.